Welcome to RFR Radio Free Rohingya. Breaking news. Does the military council really want to call the Rohingya back? Or is it just a show? Today, June 1st, 2023 RFR. The Rohingya crisis remains a deep crisis on the international community. Despite international calls for repatriation, Rohingya refugees are reluctant to return to Myanmar, fearing a repeat of the atrocities they experienced. It has become really interesting to see if the Burmese military council is really willing to call for repatriation or if there are ulterior political motivations behind their actions. Myanmar, although the military council is trying to send the Rohingya Muslims back to their homes in Arakhan State, it is seen that these efforts are only to give reasons to the international community and the ICJ, rather than a genuine desire to solve this crisis. In 2023, the Military Coup Council made 2 attempts to repatriate Rohingya refugees from Bangladesh. However, these efforts are seen as not being practical. Refugees are registered like other ethnic groups, citizenship, freedom of movement. They demand basic rights such as education and the ability to return to their villages of origin with dignity. The military council has refused to address these demands, and the repatriation process has stalled. Once in 1978, the Rohingya Muslims from Arakhan State, once in 1991/1992, more than once in 2012. Because of the extermination of the military council, they had to flee to Bangladesh several times, and in 2016 and 2017, more than 750,000 had to flee. In the previous repatriation of those who had fled in 1978, only a few people were repatriated within a few months, and more than half of the people remained. 1991 4 who fled in 1992. In 5 years, more than half of them were recalled and many were left behind. The reluctance of the Rohingyas, who fled to Bangladesh to escape the genocide of the Myanmar army, to return to Myanmar is a matter of past history and their safety and security, due to the lack of civil rights and basic guarantees. This includes failing to provide adequate protections to past repatriates, or failing to meet the basic needs of returning Rohingya. Arakhan State for the Rohingya who fled in 2016 and 2017. Camps built in northern Mongdar Township lack essential facilities such as high schools and basic livelihood support, further exacerbating concerns about the refugees' future prospects. One of the main reasons Rohingya refugees are reluctant to return home is the denial of their citizenship rights. It is not recognized as a citizen of Burma, but only provided, NDC, as an initial step in obtaining citizenship. Without proper recognition as citizens, the Rohingya continue to face discrimination and limited access to essential services. Additionally, restrictions on freedom of movement will hinder their ability to rebuild their lives and find opportunities within Myanmar. The Rohingya refugees want to return to their original villages with dignity, but the actions of the coup military council are not in line with the Rohingyas' wishes. In the actual repatriation process, it is seen that there are doubts about the sincerity of the coup military council. The military coup council's repatriation efforts have drawn criticism that they may be motivated by political considerations rather than genuine repatriation of Rohingya refugees. By showing that they want the Rohingyas to return home, the Myanmar government is trying to ease international pressure. It appears to be a mere show to avoid criticism and legal implications at the International Court of Justice, ICJ. Civil rights, freedom of movement, the right to serve as a government employee, the lack of progress in addressing the demands of Rohingya refugees, including education and the ability to return to their villages of origin with dignity, has raised doubts about the government's repatriation efforts. Welcome to watch the Radio Free Rohingyas News.